Prosecution rested its case in Chad Daybell's murder trial today, but not without a speed bump. Judge Steven Boyce pointed out an inconsistency found in the state's recently amended indictment related to the alleged murder of JJ Vallow. After trial this afternoon, he held a separate hearing about what prosecutors called a clerical error. Boyce called out dates in the charging document that didn't match the evidence and testimony presented or the initial indictment in the case. Prosecutors had changed the indictment against Chad in February of this year. And under count 4, first-degree murder of JJ Vallow, they put the wrong dates. The 4 prosecutors appeared shocked when Judge Boyce revealed that information. Ultimately, the judge agreed it was not done on purpose, and he decided to deny the defense's request for an acquittal on that murder charge, as well as every other count.
The court, having considered that history and the fact that count 4 just never should have been changed because there was no permission to do that, I do find it's an inadvertent mistake. I have also seen case law cited by the state that the actual date or time of is not necessarily a required element of the murder charge. So while these jurors have already heard the information contained in the amended indictment, the court believes that the jurors can be fairly and properly instructed with a curative instruction or some other manner in which to correct what they've heard.
Boyce will issue a follow-up order once he decides how to remedy the error. Before this issue was brought up, prosecutors called their final witness, retired FBI agent Doug Hart. He went over bizarre texts between Chad and Lori from 2019. In those texts, the couple talks about what they refer to as death percentages for JJ, Tylee, and Tammy. Lori continually pushes Chad, asking him how close to death they are. Hart said Chad was the mastermind. He was the source of the death percentages, and through his investigation, Hart learned Lori repeatedly asked Chad for information. In one of those text exchanges, the couple is talking about a plan for JJ and Tylee. Some of the most critical and clear evidence Hart says he found.
When you indicate that there's the reference to the plan, who is asking if there's a plan?
Lori Vallow is asking Chad Daybell if there is a, quote, perfectly orchestrated plan to take the children.
What is Chad's response?
Chad's response is that there is a plan being orchestrated for the children.
Where were Tylee and JJ's remains ultimately located?
On Chad Daybell's property.
Chad and his attorney shook their heads often throughout Hart's testimony, and his defense attorney, John Pryor, frequently objected. In those texts, Chad also references extreme changes coming for him. It caught Hart's attention because within 3 months, Tylee, JJ, and Tammy were all killed. Another exchange from August of 2019 stuck out, where Chad says they're close to the, quote, finish line. Hart determined the finish line was for Chad and Lori to live a fantasy life, free and encumbered from their spouses and Lori's children. Court will be back in session on Monday.